Okay. Good morning. I know I'm running late today, very late, but hey, you know, life doesn't necessarily run according to a stopwatch. And today is one of those days where my life is not running, well, it's not running according to a stopwatch that I would rather have it running by. Let's just put it that way. The stopwatch it's running by is not one of my design or wills or wants. But it is what it is. And we all survive it. Okay, Amazon just sent me a message. What the kind of message are they sending me now? Yes, I know. I shut off the automatic upload to photo, Amazon photo. No, they're really mad that I've done that. But I come to find, when I did not realize that every picture I owned was being uploaded to Amazon. And that was pure garbage. So I downloaded everything and deleted my Amazon photo account. Well, I thought I deleted it, but it's coming back up again. Anyway, uh, remember last Friday I was really, I'd made bread for 2 days, had to make one last loaf of bread that day. I'd made ice cream. I'd made ice cream that morning, made a loaf of bread that morning, had to make pasta and spaghetti sauce that afternoon, making all this from scratch for wife's co-workers coming over for dinner. Guess who canceled dinner? Canceled coming over at the last minute. Something popped up and they couldn't make it. I spent 3 days preparing this meal for the wife's co-workers, and neither one of them showed up. They want to reschedule for this coming Friday. I am not particularly happy with that. But it is what it is, and I will learn to live with it because I love my wife. And she wants her friends from work to come over for dinner. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to have to make I got to make a fresh batch of strawberry ice cream or banana ice cream and fresh batch of strawberry ice cream for the wife. But, what can I say? I'm going to do what she wants me to do for her because I love her. Oh, I'm sitting here looking at some headlines that just popped across my phone. Uh, they mad that Trump showed up to the uh, soccer thing. What can I say? Oh, Elmo's account. The beloved Sesame Street Elmo found himself at the center of a shocking controversy after his X account was hacked, resulting in a flurry of anti-Semitic and incendiary posts that left both fans and wider internet community stunned. The posts, which appeared for about an hour before being swiftly deleted, included violent threats against Jewish people and bizarre accusations targeting Donald Trump, labeling him an Israeli prime minister. Labeling him as Israeli Prime Minister's Benjamin Netanyahu's puppet. The hack was quickly confirmed by Sesame Street Workshop, the nonprofit behind Sesame Street, which assured the public they were working diligently to regain full control of Elmo's account. The organization condemned the messages. Of course they would, describing them as disgusting. I mean, come on. Yeah, anti-Semitic comments are disgusting, period. And anybody that would hack Elmo's account to do that kind of crap, I hope they find them and they 90 days in jail. That's, I mean, seriously, 90 days. A couple hundred hours community service at a children's, something to benefit children, children's center or something. Uh, had their computers taken away for 5 years. No internet access for 5 years. Yeah, I mean, only allowed to have dumb phones, no smartphones, no computers, no tablets, nothing to do with the internet for 5 years. That sounds about what should happen. Okay, all their social media sites closed down and permanently banned. Facebook, X, Instagram, whatever they've got. Uh, just go. Oh, this just reminded me. Ron Perlman released a statement. Let me see if I can find a video of Ron Perlman's threat. Okay, because this was interesting. Ron Perlman waterfall. And let's see. Look for a video here. Here we go. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Let me shrink this down. Open up. Okay, here we go. Ron Perlman released this week. Boy, they even changed the bottom of that. All right, let's see here.
Who said we're going to keep this thing going until people start losing their houses and their apartments? Listen to me, motherfucker. There's a lot of ways to lose your house. You wish that families starve. You wish that on people while you're making $27 fucking million a year for creating nothing. That's the kind of shit that stirs shit up.
Well, I've been a little quiet since then, but I've also been a little bit busy. So get ready, my creative brothers and sisters. We're about to get our houses back. And then some.
Okay. Waterfall IO. WATRFALIO. Okay. So if you look this up, Where did it go? Waterfall IO appears to. Where did it disappear to? I found it last night or this morning when I first saw it, and now it's not showing up anymore. Maybe if I get rid of that and just do. Oh, it's just that video again. All right, so Ron Perlman threw that out. Now, yesterday when I looked this up, it went to a business to business, but then maybe it went to Waterfall, WATERFALL. And if that's going to be the only difference here, is that Perlman may be getting himself in a little bit of trouble because of being, confusion between the companies. Who knows? I would not want to. I mean, if that is the truth, if that is what's going on, then it's going to be interesting to see what's happening here. Uh, I'm kind of curious what Perlman's got going on. I mean, he's a jackass. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love him as I liked him in Beauty and the Beast TV series. I liked him as Hellboy. I've liked him in some other movies and shows he's done. He's a good actor. Don't get me wrong. Ron Perlman's is a good actor within the genre of character casting that he plays and has played. But as a human being, as a person, he's a jerk. Um, and again, that's just my own personal opinion. I do not like Ron Perlman as an individual whatsoever. So I cannot agree with his politics whatsoever either. Um, he's he's getting a lot of publicity for this, whatever. I mean, his online stuff is going through the roof. Everybody's researching him to see what's going on. Um, but excuse me. He's just now what can I say? Ron Perlman's just, I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. I he's one of the characters that I can separate his politics and personal crap from the way he from his acting and his roles and such. But there's not, and that's because I mean he's usually been fairly quiet about it. Hey, morning, Data. Hey, Hey, Neil, what y'all up to? But whatever, he's spreading this waterfall IO across all the social media sites. So a lot of people, again, like me, trying to see what the hell he's talking about, and just kind of curious what he's doing. Lesson learned this weekend. Okay, uh, just killing time for work. Yep, we've all done that. Data, I don't know. I don't know. All I'm here, there's been too many contradictory statements made by too many people. I'm at a loss to know what's going on. I really and truly am. And at this point, I'm just sitting back and waiting for the dust to settle because there's just too much coming out. Too it's, and the way the previous administration and their actors cleaned house, and I'm using cleaned in a under quotation marks. They got rid of a bunch of stuff. They purged a lot of records across the board. I don't know if we're ever going to know the truth of it. I really and truly don't. You could be right, Data. You could be right. Um, I'm Epstein and had a lot of very powerful friends, and with having those powerful friends, he did a lot of favors for them and kept records of the favors he and I'm not and when I say kept, I'm saying he wasn't stupid, and he probably kept blackmail files on everybody that he ever did anything for. And I'm not prepared to discuss it at this point because I there's too much out there, and trying to sort the chaff from the truth, the falsehoods, the speculations, the half truths, and trying to sort everything else, trying to sort it all out is something I am not going to dedicate my life to at this point. I've got too many other things. So you're you're right. You can't go saying that it was there and then all of a sudden say it's not. You can't go saying it was on your desk and then say it's not. Pam Bondi, Cash Patel need to come out and hold an open press conference. This is my personal opinion. They need to come out and hold an open press conference, uh, and answer questions. That would be my preference to see him come out and do it. Will they do it? No. But that would be my preference to see him come out and hold a press conference over it. No, my my weekend has been very, very busy. My mornings have been very, very busy. And honestly, I almost didn't even stream today because I have had very little time to even prepare for today's stream. I have so little time to prepare for today's stream. One of the things I want to talk about is military related. The Navy and the Air Force, Army, Navy, Air Force, they're changing their grooming standards. And with this change, and they're going back in a lot of ways to what it was when I was in. They're telling women that they can no longer wear fake eyelashes. No more fake eyelashes. While a lot of black women are really getting angry over that they can't wear fake eyelashes anymore on in uniform. And they're not saying black women can't wear fake lashes. They're saying nobody can wear fake eyelashes. But the black women are saying, well, it's racist because it's black women that wear fake eyelashes. They're going back on hairstyles. They're telling because so many women, particularly black women again, dyed their hair these ungodly, unnatural hair colors. Uh, they're going back to saying, okay, these are the colors you're allowed to dye your hair. And they have to be natural colors, natural to your hair. Now, you can't be dyeing your hair bright or neon orange anymore. You can't be dyeing your hair blue anymore. You can't be dyeing your hair yet bright yellow anymore. And again, it's black women going nuts over it. They're going back to the bulk of hair. Now, when I was in, the hair had to, the thickest bulk a woman could have her hair was 3 inches off of her scalp. Men were only allowed like an inch and a quarter or an inch and a half off their scalp. So they're going, and the one thing that directly affected men is I think it's the Navy, but it may be the Army, or maybe the Army and the Navy. They're eliminating permanent shaving waivers. And black men are, and I see this one more than anything else, are really getting angry over it, saying, they've got to go back. I believe it's on an annual basis for shaving waivers. And then they're restricting how long the beard can be. They're going back to, and a lot of that is because black men is a condition called pseudofolliculitis, and it's where the beard hair curls and grows back up underneath the skin, and it causes shaving bumps. A friend of mine, when I was in, he got shaving bumps, very uncomfortable. He went over, got a 6 month shaving waiver. He had to go regularly and get the hairs plucked from, underneath, pulled out from underneath the skin. It was a mess. It was very uncomfortable. And the whole thing was, I mean, it was a mess. But the problem is these men took the shaving waivers and they grew full beards, full bushy beards. And the idea of the shaving waiver was, yeah, you didn't have to shave baby butt smooth anymore, but you had to groom, cut that hair, groom that hair close enough, just close enough to where, or allowed to grow just long enough to where it didn't curl back into the skin. Yeah, really, cry me a river there, Neil. I'm catching a lot of flack on it. And one of the things I've been doing is somewhere I've got a digitalized edition of the Air Force Regulation 3510. That is what governed the dress code while I was in, until they shifted over to Air Force Instruction Manuals, AFI, and that was only my last couple of years in the service, and it was still pretty much identical to AFR 3510 that I never worried about it. And I don't know how easy it would be to get a digitalized version of the original AFI whatever. I don't even know what the AFI manual was, what the Air Force instruction was for grooming standards back then, because we were still calling it 3510. Um, but anyway, so yeah, there's a lot, and then they're also doing weight and going, like one Navy guy said this morning, goes, he shouldn't have to attach two web belts together to make a duty belt to fit around you. And he showed that one that he had, well, he had two web belts connected. And he goes, this duty belt belongs to one of our, and one of his people. Now, whether it actually did or not, I don't know. But I mean, damn, that was one hell of a duty belt. Data, I've got the PDF search engine. Still, remember, okay, AFR 3510 went out in the early 1990s. All right. I'm even going to the Air Force Historical Society, going to the Air Force History at the Pentagon. I have not been able to find I've not been able to find these old regulations. And I'm not the only one. There are entire groups of people trying to find these old regulations. There's at least, I know of at least of well, I've seen of at least 100 different names of people looking for different regs, and probably 30 or 40 just looking for AFR, looking for this AFR 3510 that I'm looking for. So uh, I find it hard to believe that the regulations disappeared. And I know they were putting them on CD, uh, but I can't remember the if those that was before or after they changed from AFRs to AFIs. Yeah, that's not 3510. That's 35101. Because I think that's one of the ones I did look at this morning, look at earlier. One of the ones that popped up in my search. Okay, close that volume off so I don't hear it. Let's see here. Yeah, that's 10-100. So, yeah, that's 10-25 full spectrum threat response and incorporates provisions of Air Force Manual 10-2602 nuclear, biological, chemical, and conventional NBCC defense operations and standards. Okay, so I don't know if that's one of the websites, one of the places that I searched this morning. Sorry, nothing matches your criteria for AFR 35-10. So let me take out the space and see what that says. Yeah. Yeah, Dana, trying to find. Now, see, one of the things I did find was this here, and it was a. Let me share screen, and let's see if. Oh, there it is. I share Chrome tab. And a new approach to 3510. That's not it. There, that one's it. Okay. Now this is a new approach to AFR 3510, and the grooming standards in this is very similar to what it was when I was in, as I remember it. Okay. Hair general must be clean, well groomed, look natural if dyed. That's the part that's got a lot. Yeah, that's got a lot of. If that phrase is going back, must look natural if dyed. That's the thing that's killing. That's making a lot of these black women mad. Well, making a lot of women mad, but especially black women are the ones screaming the loudest about it. It must not touch the eyebrows when groomed or protrude below the front band of a properly worn headgear. That's another thing that's making a lot of these women mad. Okay, because with the exception of the beret, yeah, the women's beret that's worn on the back of the head, more or less. That, and I don't even know if that beret is still in the military or in the Air Force or not. Okay. Oh, let's see. Bulk not exceeding a. Okay, here it is. Uh, Men's bulk cannot exceed 1 1/4 inches. Okay, and no longer than a quarter inch on the back of the neck. Men can only wear a wig to cover natural baldness or disfigurement if not engaged in aircraft flight line or air operation duties. All right, so now the women must be styled to present a feminine appearance. The hairstyle must not interfere with the proper wear of your headgear. That's something else that's got these women mad, particularly again black women mad, because if this is from what a lot of them are saying, because they want to take their hats, and because uh, the style they want to wear is so bulky that a off the shelf hat will not fit. So they're going to have their hats modified, and some of them are even having special lining, silk lining, put on the inside of their hats so as it doesn't mess with their hairdo. Yes, yes. Ah, such a sweet thing. Must not wear ornaments such as ribbons, jewel pins, etc., but plain combs and berets similar in color to your hair may be worn if they do not present a safety or operational hazard. Okay, hair must not extend beyond the bottom edge of your collar. Man, I tell you what, the last time I went out to base, I saw so many women with ponytails that went down to their shoulder blades. I was absolutely shocked. I was like, oh, okay. Uh, okay, your hair must not extend below the bottom edge of your collar or exceed 3 inches in bulk, regardless of type. Now, that's where I was saying some of these, particularly the black women, are getting angry about, because that 3 inches in bulk, black women like to wear, a lot of these black women like to wear their hair in these really uh, w- very bulky styles, shall we say. Okay. Um, Now, okay, here's the beard. Beards may not be worn except when authorized by your commander on the advice of a doctor. The beard is worn, it must be kept trimmed so it does not exceed 1/4 of an inch in length. And that's what I was saying. The beard couldn't be any longer than what's necessary to keep it from curling back up underneath the skin. Now, there's also another exception besides this, is that there are some like the Sikhs, they wear beards and they wear a turban instead of standard headgear, except the ones working on the flight line. So now there are some modifications to this, exemptions besides that, that's listed here. 'Cause like I said, this isn't the actual reg. This was a new, a white paper for a new approach to 3510. But but it's very close to a line from what I can remember when I was active duty. Sideburns must be neatly trimmed and tapered in the same manner as stated for men's haircuts. They must be straight and of even width, clean cut, shaven horizontal line. This is where some of the men are getting angry again. Must not extend below the lowest part of the exterior ear opening. And that's the part that got, I rode that line. I rode that line. I was right there when I was active duty. I've got very wide sideburns, and it yeah, I I had one barber cut my sideburn off all the way up here. She was new to that barber shop, and I told her to leave my sideburns alone, but she went and cut that sideburn off all the way up there. And that $5 haircut was free. The manager would come over because she looked at her and said, "He told you not to mess with his sideburns, didn't he?" Well, yeah, but there are no buts. His haircut is free today. When they tell you not to mess with their sideburns, they mean it. Don't mess with their sideburns. The mustaches, I hated this mustache rule. That's why I never grew one when I was active duty. I hated that mustache rule. The mustache must not extend beyond the lip line of the upper lip or extend sideways beyond the vertical line upward from the corner of the mouth. It always reminded me, the people that did grow mustaches reminded me of Charlie Chaplin. That I mean, it was that's why I just did not grow a mustache. It just wasn't worth it. Now, I did work with one black guy, and I've told this story before. Uh, he was he was a couple ranks ahead of me, above me, and he packed his hair. He slept with hose on his head, panty women's hose on his head to pack his hair really tight to keep it in 3510, to keep it within regs. And when he got off work, particularly on the weekends, if he didn't have the duty, and he would pick that stuff out and he'd have a 3 or 4 inch fro. And he got caught by the commander, and the commander was not happy seeing him looking like that on the weekend. Now, I worked with one guy. This is back Dippity Doo. Dippity Doo would make your white man's hair so hard it would be almost like wearing a helmet on your head. And this guy, when he went to the barber, they would pin his hair up to shave around the ears, and then he had no choice about what to do with the back of his head. But the side of his hair, when it when he was off duty and he washed it out, the hair came down past his earlobes. I mean, this side part here came all the way down. He had some long ass hair, and until he got caught during a 3510 inspection by the commander. Commander tapped the side of his head. And, I mean, his pencil tapped it with his pencil, and it just bounced off. And he reached up there with his pencil and started picking at it, and saw how long that hair was, and told the man he had sent him home from work, and told him to report to his office the next day with washed hair with nothing in it and a proper haircut. That was definitely something else. Was was not something you that I mean, he was mad about that for weeks. And the commander came out with the local order that men's hair gel was not allowed. And being as we were on the flight line, he got passed as a safety hazard. to have hair gel in your hair. So that got rid of a lot of people, this guy wasn't the only one. He was just the one that got caught by the commander. Guy worked night shift, and commanders usually didn't come out and do open ranks inspection on night shift. But this guy did, and it was not. People were not exactly happy that it happened. So yeah, I've got all. I mean, some of this, but if you go on social media, uh, go into the shorts, especially over at TikTok, there are a lot of people really screaming bloody murder about the new regulations. A lot of people, yeah, I mean, the weight restrictions being put back on, they're not happy about that. Of course, the hair color, hair dyes, fingernails. Women are mad about the fake fingernails and the colors that they're allowed to use and the fingernail length and styles they're allowed. Uh, One woman was saying that they're allowed a French nail, an American nail, or a neutral or natural nail. And some of these, what the hell is an American nail? We've never heard of an American nail. I'd never heard of it either, but then I've never had fingernails. So, but it's out there. I mean, some of the other people did post pictures of what an American nail looks like. So, but people are threatening to get out at the end of their enlistment. Other people are talking about just absolutely refusing to obey the orders and take whatever Article 15's letters of admonishment, letters of counseling, whatever comes their way. They're just saying they're going to refuse to do it. One woman, E5 or an E6, she was saying, that she was, her that her time was almost up. And so I asked her, I said, well, you must be coming up on retirement, because there's no way anybody with any common sense would throw away 15, 16 years in the service and being that close to retirement over your fingernails or over your eyelashes. I can see first termers doing it. People with only, 2, 3, 4 years invested in the military. But I can't see, that's why when I said I saw that E6 sitting there, saying she was going to get out, she must be coming up on her 20 years. And it's really not that uncommon to retire as an E6, depending on the career field you're in. Like my career field, uh, to make top, they only promoted, maybe 15 people a year to the top three uh, ranks. And I was ineligible since had all those hernias and they wanted to medically discharge me. So I was ineligible for promotion to top three. I was stuck with retiring out at E6, whether I wanted to or not. I wasn't even allowed to go test. So, but that's the way that looks. Library of Congress. I think I looked their data. Um, let's see. I'm doing okay. Let's see here. Coming up with budgeting. Coming up with a lot of budgeting stuff. And let's see here. I don't care where it comes from. Oh, wow. Getting a lot of crap that I couldn't. That's, yeah, that there's nothing coming up for that unless I'm just putting in the wrong. I'll keep looking later on. Yes, I know that bill is due, and I plan on paying it this afternoon. Uh, oh, I tell you something. Uh, Wife and I went grocery shopping, or I went with the wife when she went grocery shopping the other day, and we were going to have uh, meat and cheese quesadillas for dinner one night, and we're planning on having it for last night. You know, pound of hamburger, uh, onion, taco seasoning, then a mixture of mustard, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce, some Worcestershire sauce. And while we were sitting there walking through the store, I saw they had chorizo. Now, I like chorizo. Chorizo's got a nice bite to it. It's got a real nice flavor. And it's a little bit more than what the wife usually likes. But I convinced her to buy a half a pound of it. And I mixed a half a pound of or a quarter pound of chorizo into a half a pound of hamburger meat. I mean, it's just cooking for the wife and I, 3/4 of a pound of meat. We only ate two of these 6 inch, no, they're 8 inch. They may have been 8 inch tortillas, but we only ate two of them apiece. It don't take a whole lot of meat to fill one of those things. So anyway, That really turned out though. The chorizo, mix it with the hamburger, and then the mustard, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce mixture, with the onions and cheese. Now I use a combination of shredded uh, queso cheese and Mexican cheese and cheddar cheese. And that really turned out good. Even the wife liked it. So I'm going to make some burritos using that here. Burritos, black beans, and rice. And I'm going to do that up for dinner one night. And I'll probably do a 50-50 mixture with that again. And with the wife putting sour cream on her burritos, that ought to make it nice, a little bit better for her, along with the cheese that goes in there. So, but I can highly recommend mixing chorizo. Yeah, I know. It's not traditional Spanish or Mexican, but I still like it. Hard lesson learned though. The wife was trying to do me a favor and put up some of the bread I baked so it doesn't go bad so fast, because her and I don't eat a lot of bread, but I made this bread for Friday night when her coworkers are coming over. And since they didn't show up, they had all that bread left over. So she goes, "Well, I'll just go ahead and put it in the and vacuum seal it and put it in the refrigerator." Well, I heard her running the food saver. I didn't think anything about it. Then I hear her go, "Oh my." I happened to walk over to the kitchen to see what was going on. And those beautiful loaves of bread were absolute. I mean, they looked like boats. The center of them was absolutely collapsed. As Mexican as a Crunchwrap Supreme. Yeah, you got that right, Dana. She didn't realize how powerful of a vacuum pump was on that food saver. She was used to my the little handheld one that went bad on, and because it didn't have that strong of a vacuum pump to it, so it wouldn't collapse bread like that. But the big food saver, man, that just sucked all the air out of that bread. It was funny. It was funny. So I put it through the oven again, toasted it up, put it in the air fryer and toasted it up, and ate it with bread with butter and apple butter. Yep, it was definitely a flatbread there, Data, with garlic and let's see, roasted garlic, regular garlic, Italian seasonings. Uh, I think I put some paprika in there. No, I put some crushed red pepper in there, and I put some dried jalapeno pepper flakes into it. So I had red pepper flakes and jalapeno pepper flakes mixed into it. Oh, my jalapeno plants. Oh my. Those things have come up and been producing for me. And I went and pulled one of the peppers off the other day because they're just now coming up nice where I can pick some of them. I picked one of them off and just took a bite out of that thing. Oh, Lord have mercy. These things are nice and spicy. So I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm candying some of them, and some of them I've stuffed with a little bit of cheddar cheese and some of that leftover hamburger and chorizo mixture, and grilled them suckers up. Oreo cookies and a smear of sour cream. I tell you, those blueberry Oreo cookies are good. The blueberry ones. I saw somebody recommend putting cinnamon on watermelon instead of salt. So that's on my agenda this week. The first time I go to the store, pick up a small watermelon. And the wife and I both like watermelon anyway. I'm going to cut some pieces out of it and sprinkle some cinnamon across it and see how it actually does taste. An Oreo cookie and a smear of sour cream. Yeah, I'll give that a try. I, I've, I've eaten worse things in my life. I've tried worse things. The one thing I will, unlike certain reporters, I will not eat human brain. I, I've eaten cow brain. I've eaten pig brain. Uh, and if I was to be offered monkey brain, I'd try that too. But I would not eat. Who was that reporter that ate human brain? Reza Aslan, CNN reporter, did it. Oh, come on. What happened here? Religious scholar and television host Reza Aslan is facing backlash after he ate part of a cooked human brain with the Hindu sect as part of his CNN show. Aslan, 44, is accused of mocking Hinduism, a religion of approximately a billion people worldwide, after featuring a fringe cannibalistic sect of the faith on his new show Believer in a 6 episode spiritual adventure series. Want to know what a dead man's brain tastes like? Charcoal. It was burnt to a crisp. In a recently aired episode, Aslan sat with the, don't even ask me, Agaris of India, the small sect worships Shiva, the Hindu god of destruction, and have been known to eat feces, drink out of human skulls, eat human flesh, and smear themselves with the ashes of corpses. The secretive sect is generally opposed by mainstream Hindus. Yeah, thank you, but no thank you. Well, I didn't know Tulsi Gabbard was Hindu. I did not know she was Hindu. So, anyway, when was this? 2017. So yeah, uh,
Being a football player with plaque psoriasis is challenging. The football locker room is always a place where people.
I'm not going to do the audio to that. Shut the audio off. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting what this idiot did. No, I can't play it. But there's the video. You can see it there if you want to. Hey, morning, Ramen. Yeah, well, Ramen. That when I was a kid, we ate the cow brains with scrambled eggs. That's exactly how we did eat them. Pan fried up with egg. Zombie confirmed. Yep. Hey, morning, Shio. Good to see you. So that when you're around, they look for security in more ways than one, huh? Oh, Lord have mercy. But yeah, well, growing up on the farm there, I mean, I ate a lot of things that people think weird. And I mean, I'd eat them again because I know that they tasted good. Blood pudding. My aunt could make some amazing blood pudding. Uh, I still love beef liver, especially if it's been soaked in buttermilk overnight first. Oh man, I love beef liver. So if you soak it in buttermilk or milk, that draws out that irony taste that liver can get. Chicken gizzards, chicken liver, chicken hearts, turkey gizzards, hearts, love it all. Uh, my uncle would take cow the when we cut off the penis from a cow or a pig. Uh, he sold them to a guy that turned them into canes, and then he sold those canes. Another guy, the hides we traded with the butcher, and because the butcher would sell the hides off to leather makers. Oh man, what was that? Okay, I told the seashell joke the other day, but there's another one I heard that was really good. I still like that. My wife really groaned when I asked her, why mermaids wear seashells. And that's because D shells are too big and B shells are too small. Fine, purchasing. Okay, Shio. I am. That last one is just. That last one's just going over my head. I'm sorry about that one. D shells are too small. I knew what you were saying there, Ramen. I knew what you were saying. Uh, okay. All right. I was trying to piece something together inside the joke there. Okay. I was trying to, okay, what does nuclear weapons, F-35As, and black lesbians have in common? I was trying to put something there. And obviously I didn't. I couldn't find a there. So sorry, I blew it. But it does seem though that the at least the American air military and you know is it Pete Hegseth doing this, or is it you know what? But they're going back. They're getting out of the letting people make fashion shows of the military, being in the military, being a fashion show. Now I've got money to spend on wigs and eyelashes. I'm not going to use the term that some people use to describe these fake eyelashes women wear, and ungodly fingernails. Uh, that's a discussion I did see online this weekend, the other night. Women complaining, women asking men how many close friends they have. Because, women seem to have a lot of friends, little gaggles, look, their little hen clutch. Not all women, but a lot of women seem to have these little clutches of hens, like little clutches of friends. And, they get da 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 da. And they want to know why men don't have that, do that same thing. You know, why men are not as likely to have as many close friends as women do. And one common thing that was going on among the guys that did answer, and one I could relate to, is I've never really had what women would call a close friend. I've had friends, I've had coworkers, I've had acquaintances, but I've never felt the need to have somebody that I had to express every confidence in my life to, and to and to talk to about everything I want to do in advance, like these women seem to do. And and from what I saw in the discussions, because I was just on the periphery of them listening, I wasn't really um, participating. I wasn't the only man there that was like that. It's like, I get along just fine. But now, see, my wife is like that. She's got three really close friends that she's got to see every week. She absolutely has to go see these other women every week. No two ifs, ands. Call them up. Hey, let's go to Hobby Lobby every Saturday. It's like let's go to Hobby Lobby, or we're going to Hobby Lobby after we get off work. Okay. I know I'm not when she says she's doing the Hobby Lobby run on Saturday afternoon, I know she and her friends are going to be gone for at least 3 hours. Hey, that's fine. I don't care. That just means I know I'm going to have 3 hours to do something that I either want to do or need to do, and I can do it in peace. I can put on my music or my audiobook or whatever, and I don't have to, be listening for, to answer, to hear her ask me a question from another room. I can turn up the music or whatever, and do what I need, and do what I'm doing, which is a good thing. I mean, everybody's got to have their peace, their time alone. So, uh, something else popped up on the news here just a minute ago. Where, where okay, Trump's meeting in with NATO leadership. Oh, evidently Megyn Kelly went after Pam Bondi about these Epstein file things mess. So that is that it for breaking news? Okay, well, nothing really out there for breaking news right now today, which I guess is a good thing. As long as there's no mass murders going on right now, I'm happy. As long as no schools are being shot up, burnt down, no churches being. And as I look at it, fire at an assisted living home in a Kentucky church shot up. Lord have mercy. Why are people doing this? What has gotten into people? I just don't understand it. Oh, did you hear about that nurse that cut off a man's foot and she got minimal? Here we go. I did hear about this morning, and I was absolutely shocked about it. Okay, here we go. Hospice nurse who amputated patient's foot without permission for use in taxidermy display escapes jail sentence. A Wisconsin nurse who amputated a patient's frostbitten foot without authorization and planned on using it as a ghoulish display in her family's taxidermy shop was given a sweetheart plea deal in which she'll serve no jail time and just pay $443 in court costs. Mary Brown pleaded no contest to a misdemeanor charge of negligently abusing a 62-year-old patient at a Spring Valley Senior Living and Healthcare campus in 2022 for the rogue surgical procedure. Wow, that she looks like a woman that would I would not want her as a nurse. That'd be a scary woman to be looking at as a nurse. The patient died days later, though no definitive link was made between his death and the amputation. She was initially charged with intentionally causing great bodily harm and mayhem and physically abusing an elder person, but the felonies, which could have each carried a maximum sentence of 40 years, were dismissed after pleading guilty to lesser charges. His feet had become okay. The guy had fallen and suffered frostbite in both feet. Wow. His feet had become necrotic, remaining attached to his leg by only a tendon and 2 inches of skin. He was moved to hospice care. After cutting off his right foot, which she referred to as mummy feet, she told the nursing colleagues she planned to preserve the foot and display it in a taxidermy shop as a graphic warning about the dangers of frostbite. She planned to display a sign with the foot say, "Wear your boots, kids." Jiminy Christmas. She lost her license, her nursing license, and is no longer, yeah. Well, Ramen, it'd be nice if they could, but he died. Let's see what Ramen's giving me to look at. I am not a robot. Ranking Cat saying mama. Yeah, I don't, unless, is there music involved in this? Okay, I don't see any reason why I can't play that, Ramen. I'll go ahead and play it. What the hey? I've got so many strikes on my system anyway. I mean, I've had so much, I've got no problems with it. Here we go.
Hey.
Roti.
That does sound like our cat. Well, our cat doesn't. That does sound like our cat. My wife shuts the bathroom door. but it's more likely going to be our dog trying to get in there. When I get up a lot earlier than the wife does, and if I turn on the kitchen light, I've got shut all but shut the bedroom door, so the kitchen light doesn't wake the wife up. Well, Spanky can't handle that. He's got to open that door all the way. So now I don't turn on the kitchen light. I just turn on the light on over the sink. That's one of them small fluorescent lights. That way, the light doesn't get in to wake her up. Talking dogs. Okay, Data, what dogs are talking? Let's see what dogs are talking here. Whoop, there it is.
I love you. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
Tucker, you want some food? You want your crock pot food? Do you really want it? Are you really excited? How excited are you? Do you love your crock pot food?
That's not a dog, that's a punnable. That is an overgrown rat. That's not a dog.
You love your crock pot food? Oh, you love it so much? Do you really love it? Okay. Good boy.
We're going to dog park. Yeah, we're going to go to dog park. You want to go? You want to go? You want to play with other dogs?
Can you tell me a story? Tell me more.
Is that supposed to be a dog? I don't know what that's a mutation. That's something that's mutated. That's not a dog. Purse rat, yeah. Really, Ron, that woman was being downright mean to that dog, to that animal. That's not a dog. That's barely classified as an animal.
Can you tell me more? Tell me more. What's wrong? What else? What else, Lily? Yeah?
Okay, this is
You
disgusting.
going to the park? You going to the park to see the squirrels? What is your problem?
Buddy. Say, I love you. I love.
Okay. A cat dropped into a barrel of toxic sludge. Yep. Yeah, my problem is you teasing me. Yeah. Did Did you see Tom Holman went to Turning Point USA meeting? and he was giving a speech, and some punk, some punk decided that he was going to threaten him. Okay, let's see. Let's see if I can find this video for you real quick. Here it is.
Wait 3 or 5 years. Pardon me?
Are you an MS-13 member? It says so.
Hey, that's okay. That's okay. I got a question. No. I got a question for you. Why don't you come up here and hand me that picture? Bring it. USA. They got morons like this all over the country. This guy wouldn't respect the surface nation. This guy ain't got the balls to be an ICE officer. He hasn't got the balls to be a Border Patrol agent. This guy lives in his mother's basement. The only thing that surprises me, you don't have purple hair and a nose ring. Get
Oh, I love that. That part made me laugh every time I've heard this.
out of here, you loser.
The only thing that surprised me is he didn't have a nose ring and purple hair. What do you got there, Data? Nah, I think I'll pass on playing that, Data. I think that could get me in trouble. I think that would actually get me in trouble there. But that is funny. I'll finish listening to that later on. I'll finish listening to that later on. But that is funny. Uh, let's see here. Yeah, there's one of the things that they cut out there. If you'll notice on that Tom Holman thing, one of the things they cut out was he made a comment that the guy probably sits down to pee. So that Turning Point, Tom Holman's, he gave like a 20-minute presentation speech at Turning Point, and I've listened to a little bit over half of it, and it's a good. I mean, I liked it. He brought up a lot of good points. Tom Holman is a real character, and I like him. I like him a lot. So, and I've got to go change out needles here, so I'm just going to go ahead and end the stream because I got nothing to play between now and then. But everybody, y'all have a good day and today. We'll talk to y'all later. Have a good one now. And of course, be with the ones you love and love the ones that you're with. Bye.